Hello, this is Dr. Eric Bricker, and thank you for watching A Healthcare Z. Today's topic is keeping track of health insurance investigations. That's right, there are so many federal investigations into health insurance companies in America right now that I'm having a hard time keeping track of it. So I thought I would create a matrix or a list for us so we can actually keep track of all the investigations that are going on right now. Okay, number one, UnitedHealth Group is being investigated by the Department of Justice in conjunction with the FBI. They were originally tracking United back in 2024, but it only came to light just recently, now in May of 2025. That's when I'm recording this video. And United is being investigated by the Department of Justice and the FBI for specifically related to Medicare Advantage, where the allegation is that United inflated the diagnoses of the Medicare Advantage beneficiaries so that they could then overbill the government. All right, next up we have CVS Aetna, also being investigated by the Department of Justice and the FBI, but also by the Department of Health and Human Services. And this was just released also this month in May of 2025, and this relates to behavior that happened between 2016 and 2021, where again, it's related to Medicare Advantage, where the allegation is that CVS Aetna was paying kickbacks to brokers that were signing up Medicare Advantage beneficiaries so that those brokers would intentionally not try to sign up disabled patients onto the CVS Aetna Medicare Advantage plans because those people would be higher risk and have more claims. It'd be more expensive for the CVS Aetna folks to take care of. Now, interestingly, that same investigation is going on against Elevance and Anthem and also against Humana. All right, now, next we have Cigna was investigated by the Department of Justice. Now, interestingly, this started back in 2022 and was actually already settled in 2024, so it's not going on anymore. And again, the allegation was very similar to what UnitedHealth Group is being investigated for, where they allegedly Cigna was inflating the diagnoses for their Medicare Advantage beneficiaries. In other words, they were saying that they were sicker and that they had more diagnoses than they actually had, so that they could then overbill the government for those Medicare beneficiaries. Because with Medicare Advantage, the premiums that are paid by the government to the health insurance company are based upon how many diagnoses and how sick the patients are. The more diagnoses and the sicker that the patient appeared to be, the more the insurance would be paid in premium. I'll leave a link in the show notes to another video that explains in detail the methodology of how that works. Okay, and then finally, the pharmacy benefit managers, the PBMs, for all of these health insurance carriers are being investigated by the FTC, and this started back in 2022, and it's ongoing for anti-competitive behavior and for rebate policies with the pharmaceutical industry that may be leading to excessively high drug and medication costs. Now, so this is a ton of investigations. And so I was scratching my head and I'm like, well, what is this kind of like? Well, at the end of the day, obviously this is all related to Medicare Advantage. And so essentially, all of these health insurance carriers are like huge government contractors. In fact, they make more money from their government contracts than they do from private commercial insurance plans. So from private employers. So these are essentially large government contractors. It's like, okay, well, who else are large government contractors? It's the defense industry. So the health insurance industry is actually very similar to the defense contractor industry. And guess what? Defense contractors have had a whole bunch of investigations against them for the exact same thing, for overbilling and overcharging the federal government. So Lockheed Martin and Boeing and United Technologies and KBR, which was part of Halliburton, they've all been investigated for overbilling the government. And, there have been various settlements, yada, yada, yada. But guess what? I mean, Lockheed and Boeing and United, these were all just like slaps on the wrist. And so this is just my opinion, but I would argue that all of these investigations, like, what are they going to do? Shut down all of these companies? No, I mean, these companies are essentially too big to fail. Just like the Defense Department is not going to shut down Lockheed Martin and Boeing, right? I mean, they're hugely depend upon them for supplying their military industrial complex stuff. Okay, so fine. So what's this like? It's like a slap on the wrist. So again, that's just my opinion. Like, is it gonna have teeth? Is it not gonna have teeth? Like, I don't know. But the fact that they're going after all of them and the fact that they're too large to fail government contractors probably means that to a certain extent this is all for show and it's not really gonna result in any sort of like major cataclysmic change for these health insurance carriers. Again, that's just my opinion. Now, let me contrast that with what in the defense industry has been a cataclysmic change for Lockheed Martin and Boeing and the other defense contractors? What has it been? It's been competition from SpaceX, from Palantir, from other new defense companies. I mean, SpaceX is eating Boeing and Lockheed Martin's lunch when it comes to aerospace contracts with the Department of Defense. And Palantir, believe me, all these companies have software divisions as well, and Palantir is eating their lunch when it comes to software contracts with the Department of Defense. You can tell by Palantir's like astronomically booming revenue. Okay, so all I'm saying is, let's not hold our breath that these federal investigations are actually going to change things in terms of insurance carrier behavior. And let's look to the Defense Department to see actually what role competition has played in terms of actually changing things. And that's my point for today. Thank you for watching A Healthcare Z.